It's been nearly a month since Hurricane Helene left a trail of devastation across the southeast, killing over 296 in North Carolina alone. More than 20 are still missing.
And thousands are still without power at this hour as the Tar Heel state works to recover from what its governor calls the deadliest and most devastating storm in North Carolina history. Let's bring in the state's Governor Roy Cooper. Governor, good to see you, and thanks a lot for being with us. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Good to see you, DeMarco and Eva.
So what's the latest on the ground and the latest on recovery efforts?
We have been on overdrive over the last 4 weeks, working to respond and begin recovery. For example, we had more than 1 million customers without power. That's now down to about 4,700. We had more than 1,200 roads closed. That's down to about 400 and some. Communications were completely wiped out, which caused significant problems where people couldn't talk on their cell phones for a long time. That coverage is up to about 97%. So there are a lot of good things happening. We've had a steady stream of food, water, supplies going into Western North Carolina in a coordinated effort. I even asked for military help, and we had the fastest and largest integration of active military with the National Guard in North Carolina history. They've all come together because they've seen how terrible this storm was. But I'll tell you this, the people of Western North Carolina are determined. We know that this is going to be a challenge, but this state is ready to move forward. I've had conversations with the president, the vice president, the secretary of transportation. The FEMA administrator has been on the ground with me for weeks, almost every day that I have been out there. They are committed to making sure Western North Carolina recovers. And the price tag is big. We've done our initial assessment. It looks like about $53 billion in losses for Western North Carolina.
Governor, some of these communities were just completely devastated. Rebuilding, as we know, is going to take a long time. So what does the long-term plan look like here?
We put out a blueprint yesterday of where we believe resources need to go. Obviously, we need to rebuild water and wastewater systems. We need to rebuild transportation, and that means roads and bridges, including major federal highways and the beautiful Blue Ridge Parkway, which so many people visit every year. We need to make sure that all of that infrastructure is hardened and prepared for the next storm. When we talk about these 500-year storms, these 1,000-year storms, that's not the way it is anymore. We know where this water can go. I talk to people who have lived in the mountains their entire life, people in their 70s and 80s. They have never seen the water go where it went. So we have to be smart about how we rebuild.
Governor, there's been a lot of misinformation when it comes to federal aid and FEMA's response. How has this misinformation impacted the recovery efforts there?
You know, the people of Western North Carolina deserve help, but they also deserve the truth. This disinformation, misinformation that has been ubiquitous, it hurts the morale of the first responders, the soldiers, the people who are on the ground giving it their best every single day. It discourages people from applying for aid. For example, if you try to convince people that FEMA is going to take their land or going to try to get the money back from them, both of which are untrue, then you can discourage people from getting the help that they need. They could fall victim to scam artists. It's very frustrating to see this misinformation that not only it permeates the social media, but has been promoted by Donald Trump and the Republican candidate for governor in North Carolina, Mark Robinson. It hurts the very people that we all need to help. We need to pull together and make sure that they get the help that they need and the help that they deserve.
Early voting is underway there in North Carolina. It's a battleground state. I'm curious, what does early voting look like in those counties that were devastated?
I signed bipartisan legislation to give local boards of election there more flexibility. For example, you can return your absentee ballot to any of the early voting sites, and it gives them more opportunities to vote. We believe that we have legislation in place and the elections boards in every county to make sure that people do have the opportunity to vote, and they're taking advantage of that now.
North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper. Governor, thank you for being on. We appreciate it.
Good to see you guys. Thanks.
You as well.